Welcome back to Tuesday, where we review all of the new vendor offerings. This week we're going to start in the Imperial Sewers.
It's not likely.
Our Telvar merchant today has Telvanni Peninsula treasure maps. These are pretty dang good. Telvanni Peninsula brings us Adamant Lurker, Kimona Tong, and Vivek's Duality, but also there are lots and lots of leads. We have 9 leads that drop from treasure maps, 6 for individual furnishings, and 3 that combine together for the Apocryphal Well furnishing. Unfortunately, we just had, well, for better or for worse, we just had Solstice last week. So those of you who care about such things have probably already spent all of your Telvar on Solstice maps, but Telvanni Peninsula is another good one. Remember, you can sell these. The container is bound, but the map inside is not. All right, our scripts this week, we have Bound Affix script Magicka Steel, which adds Magicka Steel, a debuff granting Magicka Restoration to attackers. We have Bound Focus script Shock Damage, which is self-explanatory. And Bound Signature script Wayfarer's Mastery, adds improved functionality of skill line passives. We have Fragment of the Badman, which is one of 5 pieces of the Roar Verdant Green skill style. This one drops out of the Glenumbra Public Dungeon Badman's Hallows, off of Skitterflame. We have Night Slayer Necklace and Ring. Our leads, we have Oriel Armor Glaze. This is part of Spalder of Ruin and drops off of the Stone Falls World Boss Shimmering Shrine. Next, we have Nightwing Besigue, which is one of the 5 pieces of Rakat's Void Mantle Mythic. And this one drops off the first boss in the trial, Mauve Lorcage. This one's a pretty good one to get. The world boss, maybe not, but unless you run trials frequently enough that you get into Mauve Lorcage, this one's probably a time saver. And lastly, we have Necklace and Ring of the Century. Let's hit up the Scholarium now. Let's see what new scripts they have in the Scholarium this week.
The key when shopping.
We have Bound Affix script Defile, adds Defile a debuff reducing healing received. Bound Affix script Protection, of course, adds protection. Bound Focus script Multi-Target adds a multi-target hit. And Bound Signature script Crusader's Defiance adds removal of debilitating effects. All right, now it's time for Infinite Archive. We've made our way to Infinite Archive. Let's see what Filer Wool has.
See this area?
We are starting off with Bankerai treasure maps. Definitely not worth 2,000 archival fortunes when they're so cheap through guild traders. But if you're curious, Bankerai brings us 7th Legion Brute, Spriggan's Thorns, and Vampire Lord, as well as a chance for the Ancestral Orc Legs and Shields motif leads. Our first plan this week is Blueprint Eleanor Bed Canopy Full. This runs about 29 to 35k on PCNA, and on PCEU it looks like about 44 to 55k, so a little bit more valuable on EU. It is a very nice bed. Next we have our scripts. We have Bound Affix script Savagery and Prophecy. Add Savagery and Prophecy, buffs increasing weapon and spell critical chance. Bound Focus script Flame Damage, which of course adds flame damage. Bound Signature script Thief's Swiftness, adds improvement to your mobility. Our style page this week is Troll King Shoulder. I don't usually recommend you getting shoulders this way, unless you just really never run pledges. I think keys are the way to go instead, but it is here if you need it. Companion equipment, light armor. I typically don't recommend these either. You are at the mercy of RNG, and anything you buy this way is bound, so you never know what you're going to get, and then you can't just sell it if you don't want it. So I prefer to use my archival fortunes for other things, but it is here again if you want it. Our second plan is Diagram Leowin Lamp Oil. This runs 28 to 29k on PCNA. There's only 3 listings. However, on PCEU, it looks like 45 to 85k, so definitely a better deal there. I still think it's worth getting if you don't have it. So it's here for only 2,000 archival fortunes, which I think is completely fair. Next, we have Erroneous Archive Map. Consume 20 Erroneous Archive Maps to unlock the Walk Through the Mirror Maze achievement and the Shattered Mirror Maze body marks. Here are your Shattered Mirror Maze body marks. Now, these are a guaranteed drop if you just run enough of the Infinite Archive dailies. And if you're going to have enough to buy these, you'll probably be running dailies anyway. So I would just get them that way. But if you really feel the need, 3,000 Archival Fortunes will get you 1 out of the 20 that you need to get the body marks. Our leads this week, we have Apocrypha Tentacle Carving. This is one of 3 pieces of Vision of Mora. This particular lead drops out of Infinite Archive. If you're having trouble finding it, a lot of times the leads in Infinite Archive will drop off of the side bosses, those portals to the unknown, or from the loot goblin that pops up sometimes with your cycle bosses. So make sure that you are getting those. I don't know if I love this one. I didn't have that much trouble getting it, but I do run Infinite Archive at least once a week. Next, we have Withered Garlic Gorget. This is one of 5 pieces of Fawn's Lark cladding, and this one drops in the Rivenspire Public Dungeon Obsidian Scar. Again, not super difficult to get. I don't know, this week is, I think this week is a bit of a miss in Infinite Archive. I think I would stick with the Telvar Merchant this week with the Mauve Lurkage lead. All right, our final pattern this week is Dark Elf Rug Mossy. This one is all over the place on PCNA from 20 to 69K. On PCEU, it's a lot cheaper though at 11 to 25. It is a base game pattern. So, but if you need it, 2,000 Archival Fortunes. Next, we have Slayer's Alessia deck fragment, which of course is part of the Saint Alessia deck for Tales of Tribute. One of 5 pieces. This one drops occasionally after defeating world bosses in Westweald. I think at 3,000 Archival Fortunes, I don't think the drop rate is that bad at all. So I would just go kill some world bosses in Westweald if you can find a small group to help you. Unearthed Valenwood Seedling. These are fragments that drop in the Apocrypha Public Dungeon, the Underweave. You combine 25 of these with 25 of the Lost Grot Oak Acorns from Gorn to get the Grot Oak Squirrel Pet. They have increased the drop rate on these fragments recently. The first drop is supposed to come fairly easily. 50 pieces is a lot, and 1,000 Archival Fortunes is not. So if you need a few more to finish out your pet, they are here for you. Our books this week, we have We Reject the Pact. This drops in Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory is in Telvanni Peninsula. If you're not sure how that works, we have a link below that explains how the book furnishings work. And then What About Glyphics? This one also drops in Infinite Archive, but the eidetic memory can be found in Apocrypha. All right, that does it. It's time for us to run some Infinite Archive and see what gear is dropping this week. We just ran a couple arcs of Infinite Archive, and this week we have gear dropping from Malabal Tor. That includes Salvation, Spinner's Garments, Thunderbug's Carapace, as well as from Clockwork City, which includes Livewire, Mad Tinkerer, and Unfathomable Darkness. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.